Bitcoin and Ethereum dead as always. So Bitcoin currently at 59,244. Ethereum is at 2514. So if you look at the charts, they have been going up and down, but when you zoom out a lot, they have flat line for a couple of days now. So what are they waiting for? What is going on with the movements in the market? And what have I been doing in the meantime? So let's take a look into it, and then we're going to look at more data. Welcome back, folks, to another video. As I said, Bitcoin and Ethereum not doing much, but we have here some data to analyze. First of all, let's start with the fear and greed index, which is at 47. So it is dead in the middle. Everyone does not know what's going to happen. So everyone has that feeling of, let's just wait and see how everything turns out. And when I say everyone, I mean retailers, because on the other end, smart money is always doing its same. Even if it is quiet on the low, smart money is still making money in every single way possible when retailers are just holding and waiting to see what's going to happen. So I also did some trading, and my trades were very profitable. I'm showing that to you right now. We've done 1.8 and a 0.79. These were amazing, and percentages that honestly were too good to pass on. Of course, there was a little bit of risk extra because I don't like going above 50% or 0.50% in risk because it gets very risky. But the yield was so juicy and the risk reward for the yield was so good that I had to get in. So I made 17 bucks and $6 out of these two positions. And then we have 0.44 and 0.32. And last night I did a 0.58 and a 0.63. So for these, I'm trying different strategies right around the 6 to 7 a.m. for me. I would get on my phone and open positions for the whole day, expiring the next day at 5 a.m., which is the expiration time for me. And I was trying that strategy. That gives huge premiums. But what can happen is the underlying asset has a whole 24 hours to move. So now I'm trying a different strategy. I did it throughout lunch, and now I'm doing it in the afternoon. So before I close the computer, shut it off, I just go in, do a little trade, and that gives me less hours from to expiration. So Bitcoin and Ethereum has less hours to move and just go against me, or just to do something in general. It is a time in the day when usually it stays quiet because it doesn't have a lot of pressure in the Asian markets, and because the stock market is closed at the time. So there is no volatility from other places going into Bitcoin and Ethereum at that time. So it has been a good strategy. I'm going to do more testing on it. Just 8 to 10 entries is not enough to have a set in stone and just say, hey, this is a good strategy or this is a bad strategy. You need thousands of entries. So I'm going to keep trying this strategy right here, see if it works. So far, so good. So the copy trading is also doing very well. Last time I updated you, we were at 0.4 on September, and now we are at 0.89. So 0.9, almost 1%. And today is Tuesday, the 3rd of September. So we're doing very well on that front. Now my P&L here is 23.5%. So we have 617, meaning that we've made over $100 here just by passive income. So very good strategy. And you might be asking, Everton, how do I do that? Well, you can just deposit right here in the strategy and have very passive income, as passive as it gets. Well, I've made a video about it, but first of all, you need to open an account on BitTopics, and you do that through the first link in the description. So just check it out. It is the first link, and there you can just log in with your credentials, and then check out my video on how to deposit on BitTopics and how to choose this strategy here for the passive income on the 0DTE strategy. That being said, Bitcoin has been doing what it's doing for a few days now. It had a little bit of a high ground right here, but overall it has been keeping this range right here for the longest, and this range is actually pointing down a little bit. So we would have to wait and see what's going on. Ethereum's doing the same stuff, but on the contrary, it didn't keep the box that it had before. It went above the box for a little bit, and then it crashed down, and now it is holding the bottom of the box. If I actually pull this right here, it is holding the bottom of the box. So not really good if you are bullish on Ethereum, but again, I'm just talking about the short term, not the long term. The long term could be a whole different reading, but you can see the volume is non-existent mostly on the 4-hour charts. There's not much happening there, and what we have to grasp on, to hold on to, is the historical returns that Bitcoin and Ethereum have which will be on October. So I'm very pumped to see if Bitcoin is going to have a good month of October, because usually when you go right here and you look at September is also not so good of a month return wise. August was red for Bitcoin, minus 8.6%, which is very, very close to what the average for the medium is, excuse me. So negative 8%. And we saw that for September, we are in the green right now by 0.1, but we have the whole month ahead of us for it to get in the red, which is the average and the medium, which is what they show that for September, usually historical, on average, it is not a good month. But on the other side, October, it is a fantastic month all over. We only had 2 years where October was a bad month, and these 2 years were 13% in the red and 4% in the red. But last year we had 30% in the green. So huge movements overall. So usually October, November, December, October being the best one. These are always good positive months for Bitcoin, and February in the beginning of the year. So we're excited to see what's going to happen. For Ethereum, these are a little bit different. Yes, October is positive almost every year, but the two best months are usually February and May. So October, November, December, we're still most likely are going to have some green days if Bitcoin does very, very well, because it's going to push Ethereum as well. But what shines on Ethereum is usually February and May. So for that, you might be looking into leaps for February, leaps for May. But for Bitcoin, we're looking at a hopeful October, hoping that it will go up maybe 30% like it did last year. Who knows? On the liquidation sides of things, for Bitcoin, we're looking at the 60K. So 60K is a liquidation point on the short side. So shorts are going to be liquidated right here. On the bottom side, longs are going to be liquidated at 58.5. So 58,600 more or less is where shorts are going to get liquidated. And that, as I explained before, on the top side, it will create short squeeze effect, so it will go up a little bit higher, and on the bottom side it will create a cascade effect, bringing Bitcoin's price even further down. For Ethereum, we're looking at different numbers. We have way more longs that are going to be liquidated at the bottom than we have shorts that are going to be liquidated at the top. You can see by the color here, the color is greener, that gets closer to the yellow, meaning that there's a lot of positions that are going to be liquidated at these ranges right here. So the strongest one right here is at 24.75, meaning that at this price, $2,476.75, this will create a liquidation of huge sizes, which is the leverage of $123 million will be liquidated, which happened here. You can see people got liquidated, then the price fell a little bit more, then we got more liquidations, and then it climbed back up. So we need to be careful on these positions right here, because by knowing where these key points are, they're like cracks in a cup. So if you know to avoid these cracks, you're going to be able to make more profitable trades, better entries, all these sorts of things, just by knowing what places or what areas of Bitcoin and Ethereum to avoid when selling, when short selling, when writing, when buying a call, when buying a put, whatever that you're doing. For the 24-hour liquidation map, we don't have a lot of liquidations like we did other days, over 100, over 300 million, almost $1 billion liquidated. No, we are at $58 million in the last 24 hours. Most of this is people shorting Bitcoin, thinking that Bitcoin was going to go down, and Bitcoin kind of kept it the way it was, the price that it was, which liquidated $16.5 million. On the other side, for Ethereum, there was a lot of people thinking that it was going to go up. So it was long positions that got liquidated. So overall, 22 million liquidated on the long side and 36 million liquidated on the short side, as we can see right here. So me personally, what am I going to do today? I'm going to sell again options. So far, it is too early to understand if I'm going to sell more calls or if I'm going to sell more puts. You can see from my trading history that I did 2 calls and then all the other 4 were puts. So I sold call, and then I sold put. Again, it is not just one side that you have to do. So I'm always going to sell calls or I'm always going to sell puts because at the end of the day, it depends where the market is. Like I said in the other video, for you to be profitable, you need to be dynamic. For you to be profitable with options, by generating passive income with these options, you need to be dynamic, meaning that you have to look at volatility, you have to look at how much the market's moving, the direction that is going, and then you look at the other indicators like I just showed you, the liquidation heat map, technical analysis, and you kind of see where these tokens are not going to be. So if it is close to a liquidation area, avoid that. go to the other way. Why? Because if it touches that, even for a brief moment, it will trigger a whole lot of liquidation and it will create a cascade. So stay away from that. So by doing that, I looked into it, and the last 4 I sold puts, but it doesn't mean that today I'm also going to sell puts, which I'm not going to show in this video, mainly because right now it is early in the morning and I'm trying again the strategy where I do it late in the afternoon before I close the computer. By looking at the charts here, we can see that both Bitcoin and Ethereum, they are the bottom half of the Bollinger. So here Bitcoin is below the medium average for the Bollinger, is below the 9 EMA, and it is below the 100 moving average. So it has a lot holding it from going up more. And for Ethereum, it has the bottom of that box right here that it needs to go over. And again, it has the 100 moving average all the way up at 3K, so that's not going to be bothering it. But it has the medium of the Bollinger, which is the blue line right here in the middle, and the 9 EMA. So those two should be holding Ethereum a little bit more. And also this is a downtrend right here. So personally, for me, I could see me selling calls at the end of the day, but I just have to see what Bitcoin and Ethereum are going to do today before the stock market closes. Because on that front as well, we have a lot of people thinking that Jerome is going to lower rates by 0.5. So we don't know how that's going to go as well. We have all that data as well that is going to be influencing Bitcoin and Ethereum. So we have to keep an eye on that before I take in consideration anything that I will have to do here to sell calls or sell puts. So before we end the video, I just want to give you a little bit of a heads up, which is if you have Telegram, on Telegram right now, we created a tap game, which is for you to learn options and also make something in return. So it is a click game, just like a cookie clicker game, sorts of things, but it has educational content built on it, which is what you're watching here. So we have a lot of the topics videos there for you to watch and collect more points. So these points in the future, you will be able to trade them for airdrops or to things that you can collect and withdraw to your wallet. And also our BitOps token is getting ready to launch on the TON network. So make sure you keep an eye on this little game. It's also just a clicker if you want to just pass some time, and it is on Telegram. So if you want to learn more, just go to our Telegram community and you'll find the game right there for you to try out. I see a lot of people already coming from the game right here to YouTube. So welcome everyone. Regarding the points becoming airdrops or whatever, I'm not the one in charge of that. So I don't know how or when that's going to be. So just stay tuned, follow all social media or Telegram or Twitter, because that's when that's where we're going to give you all the information when we have things sorted out. So again, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys on Friday. Peace.